Echo Fox was like super overrated coming into the season.
We have to prove that we actually belong in LCS. They're probably going to be one of the harder teams to beat.
Phoenix won! The Giant Killers!
Their only win was against us, but that's when they didn't have me.
Phoenix won! Have done it!
Was this roster, they're probably gonna get smashed.
My one goal is just to get into LCS and prove that I can actually play in it.
Contracts, I don't expect him to outperform me, but I still think he can pull out a fight.
He replaced me on Ember for the playoffs, and they lost. So I just want to beat him, get into LCS.
Welcome to the 2017 LCS Spring Promotion Tournament, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, in our studios here. Today, 4 teams will duke it out on the Rift for their shot at joining the LCS. NRG arriving at the studio earlier to prep for their match today. They're up against Cloud9 Challenger, who are setting up on stage just a short time ago. Contract in his first opportunity to join the pros. As we heard in that intro, he was replaced by Santorin last year. Phoenix 1, though, will be over in the Battle Theater today. Pyrion and Zig leading the rest of their team into the studio this morning. They're going up against Echo Fox, who dodged relegation on Thursday and have earned 2 chances to win their way back to the LCS. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm James Patterson, and helping me break down today's promotion matches is my OG analyst desk duo, Aiden Zyrene Moon.
That's true.
Yep, our very first broadcast
flashbacks.
was together on the analyst desk, July 4th of season 4. It's been a while. It's
We
been
didn't
some
even
time.
get that day off, July 4th. What?
I know, right? And here we are watching a new echelon of players, well, some new, some old, trying to get back into the LCS. And our first match of the promotion tournament was played this last Thursday, where LCS defenders Echo Fox took down Team Liquid Academy in a 5-game series. And this series was incredibly back and forth. Games traded left and right.
Yeah, going all the way to 5, it was one of those games where you couldn't really judge the strength of TLA coming in off of their finals, because that last pick, are they stronger than C9C, are they not? And Echo Fox, being the bottom LCS team, still proves that, you know, they'll be able to beat the runner-up of Challenger, and the relative strength of Challenger versus all these LCS squads that have had time to play against Immortals, TSM, and these guys, that they have a little bit better macro game, that they can pull out those clutch stops at the end. And that Lux pick felt like they couldn't really do anything about it on TLA's side in that last game.
I mean, the closeness of that series definitely speaks to the competitiveness of this entire mini tournament here, just in that if Liquid Academy was able to play Cloud9 Challenger so closely, then that means Echo Fox is going to have just as hard a time up against Cloud9 Challenger. Now, of course, that does mean that Echo Fox moves into today's match against Phoenix 1, while Cloud9 Challenger will battle NRG. The losers of those matches move on to play each other for their final chance to get in the NALCS, while as the winners of today's matches, they do earn their spot on the 2017 NALCS rosters. Within these 2 series, we've got Phoenix 1 up against Echo Fox. It's important to note side selection. We have that dynamic side selection, so between each match, the sides will be decided. Phoenix 1 is opting to start game 1 on the red side. In our other series, NRG versus Cloud9, NRG opting to start on the blue side. I want to hear from you, starting with Phoenix 1, Echo Fox, your prediction, and maybe a couple reasons why it's going to go that way.
I think Phoenix 1 will 3-0 on this one.
Wow.
I was like leaning a little bit towards 3-1, but I think 3-0. I think the red side is a little bit stronger if you draft correctly, where you leave OPs up, so you get 2 of them after the first round. And I think that right now the big thing for me is Echo Fox always struggled with early playmaking. That has been their issue during the entire split. So Inori versus Hard, I feel like Inori's going to be able to take it to the early jungle. I feel like he's going to have more backup from his synergy with Pyrion, so that they're going to be able to dominate that, and that'll shut down Echo Fox in their biggest weak point and just exploit that further.
Yeah, Hard definitely had a rough season as a whole. And of course, Inori being the biggest boon to the Phoenix 1 roster when he came in, kind of turning around their split back half, definitely became dominant, brought out some wild picks that now Echo Fox is going to have to consider how to adjust to if any of those come out, which make the whole drafting process a very interesting game in and of itself. Moving on to the second series, NRG versus Cloud9. Again, NRG on the blue side. What's your prediction here?
So this one, I think Cloud9 Challenger have a slight edge for me. I think it'll be 3-1 in favor of Cloud9 Challenger. And the reason for this is I think that the shot calling has been the biggest weakness for NRG. They're a mixed language team. They still haven't gotten completely on the same page. And Cloud9 Challenger has shown that they don't have the same weakness in closing out games when they have leads. Sure, Santorin will get the team ahead, but they failed to transition that into actual victories, and that's why NRG was at that 9th place spot. In Cloud9 Challenger, they have 3 members from the old Cloud9. They have High, they have Elimination. I feel like these guys, they know how to close games out. They're no stranger to that, and that's why I think they'll win.
I think if I'm a Challenger squad, there's no person I'd rather have leading my team than High in the mid lane there for his shot calling. The one other thing I want to focus in on that series is that Contracts versus Santorin matchup. We talked about the jungle matchup in the other series. This is a very interesting one as well, but I feel for the opposite reasons in that Santorin has actually been a pretty solid player throughout this split, and then Contracts is, the talk of the town, this young blood that's going to come in and ruin lives.
Yeah, I actually think Santorin is the best player in the NALCS that's not in playoffs. And I will stand by that. Fight me on that one. But so
we'll fight later.
I still think that he's really good, and I think he's been consistent. I think he's been getting these teams early leads, but I want to see how he does against Contracts. Contracts has shown that he's versatile. He's an up-and-coming talent. He doesn't have much stage experience. Maybe he will have some nerves, but I feel like he's been groomed to be exactly what they need on Cloud9 Challenger. Somebody who can play aggressive carries in the jungle, or somebody who can fall back and actually be an initiator. And he's so young as well that when he's around veterans like High, like Elimination, it's kind of easy to mold him into what they need for the team. And I feel like that's what they've done with him.
Well, 3 wins here proves that he belongs in the LCS with the rest of the pros. That's going to do it for myself and Zyrene to start off the day. So let's head over to the casters to get the games underway.